All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all are having a good day so far. I wanted to check out a video here. This is by Nick Smith, NBA, and this one's called Asking 30 Michael Jordan Teammates Their Thoughts on the True MJ from Each Season. That's a handful, but so what he's gonna do, I guess, is actually take clips from all of his teammates, and from each season. I believe he's gonna be doing that like per season, like somebody who played with him in each of those years, you know, from the early 80s all the way to the end. And so this should be pretty cool. Let's see what these testimonies look like. I'm really curious what they have to say. I'm sure I've seen some of them, but when it comes to Nick Smith, he always finds a way to find some footage I've never seen before, so I'm looking forward to it. All right, everybody, as always, I'm going to link the original video down below in the description if you want to check it out without my commentary. Everybody else, please leave this video a like. It helps out a ton. And yeah, let's just get right to it. Here we go.
Asking 30 of Michael Jordan's teammates their thoughts on the true MJ. This video looks at every single season of MJ's career, and 2 of Jordan's teammates from those years will talk about Jordan in that season.
Hodges.
With the name of Michael Jordan, you will find some teammates that have positive things to say about him, and others who have not so nice things to say about him. But that is the way that Jordan was, and that is why he's not only one of the greatest basketball players, but one of the greatest athletes to ever grace this earth. This video took me a while to edit and put all together, so I'd really appreciate if you guys could help me out by hitting that like button, subscribing if you are new,
Absolutely.
hit that notification so you're up to date when a new video is released.
Yep.
And I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so I really hope you enjoy the video.
Like and sub, sir. Yeah, it's going to be interesting because we're going to have players that couldn't hang with MJ, you know, because he was too demanding. And then we're going to have players that thrived with MJ. So it should be cool to hear all these.
Talked about, unfortunately, missing out on those championship years, but I think even more fascinating for us is understanding what Michael was like coming in as a rookie in those early years with the Bulls. What did you see that you felt like was part of what made Michael Jordan who he is?
I'm like, fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a hell of a ride.
Yeah,
You just
Orlando
knew it
Woolridge.
from day one.
Just any other rookie coming out of college. He was very respectful of elders, coaches, anybody in authority position. He was just a rookie coming in ready to learn and earn his position in the league. He didn't come in with an attitude or feel that he was better than anybody else. My first 5 years with Michael there, we hadn't won a championship yet. So in some ways, it was a different environment, but I think as a person deep down, he was the same person.
That's awesome.
Did he talk trash to you, Mike? Was he a respectful guy to the big man?
Yeah, he never said anything bad towards me. I always, got along with him well. And, he was just very, very, very intense. The thing that you remember about Michael was that every second, whether it was practice or a game, he was all out.
They traded him for George Gervin, who was the highest paid Bull on that team.
I started with Dr. J and I finished with Michael.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Both them brothers played so hard, man. I mean, in practice and in the game.
The most competitive person, and just
that was George Gervin.
He gave everything every second.
Once he crossed that line, he was a maniac. He loved to practice. He came at you at practice. We took him out. I mean, we physically beat the hell out of him, and he took it. But he did some things in practice that were amazing. He really worked hard in practice. So the games for him were pretty much easier than practices were.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's true. Yeah, no refs in practice, so they can get away with beating him down as much as they want. That's one way to prepare for the playoffs.
But we ate a lot of McDonald's back then. MJ ate McDonald's for every morning for breakfast.
Yeah, he did.
Word. Every morning he ate McDonald's.
Sound like Ocho Cinco.
Yeah.
If it works.
Right. And before game, he eats
okay.
steak.
If Ocho says it and MJ pulled it off, is McDonald's really that bad? I'm starting to wonder. I think it sucks, but I mean, we got 2 of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. That they basically lived off of freaking McDonald's, and they're athletic gods. So what the hell does that tell us?
Steak before every game.
A steak? All
Steak before every game.
Damn, steak.
Boss.
Probably got more cool because we were somewhere, and MJ and a guy got into it. I mean, it was real messy. So it was about a bill. So once you pick the check up, MJ, nigga, you get a check too. Fuck that, you pick it up. So they went into that. So it was like a lot of tension. So they almost got in a fight. And I'm like, man, man, y'all need to cut it out, this or that, man. He was like, he get a check. You been in the league before me. So it was a lot of that. And, they got all them guys out of there and took 2 or 3 years. But then he got to start running the team his way. And you see what happened.
In the early years, Michael had a very difficult time, just an extraordinary talent. He was scoring an awful lot of points. Well, it was pretty obvious that Michael was turning into just a special individual.
Yeah. He demands perfection. Probably the toughest thing about working with Michael is he's a workaholic. He never stops. So from the morning until late at night, he's motivated to always be challenged and be the best, and he carries that throughout his whole staff.
I mean, I saw the best defenders in the league get shredded. Shredded. This kid here was the greatest. And I'm including Kareem in his heyday. I caught Wilt in his tail end. I said, he's the greatest, right? I said, can't you tell from these highlights? I said, can't you just see? He was shredding people like it was nobody's business, right?
One time, I can recall me and BJ sitting on the bench, and we're sitting on the end of our chairs, and Michael gets a move, baseline. The defender is here. That's out of bounds. MJ is facing here. And somehow he was able to go around, plant here, get here, and go up and dunk the basketball.
Yep.
So for me, some of the stuff that he would do would be almost superhuman from a standpoint that how can you make a pivot when he would turn so sharp, you would see his shoe almost come off.
Yeah.
Literally, where he would turn a corner.
Not only that, how did he not twist his ankle more often or significantly injure his ankle? Because he would make those sharp cuts and you see his ankle just bending. And then he would just lift off for a two-hand dunk. And it's like, how did you do that? Not only how did you not hurt yourself, how did you have enough strength from that low to lift your entire body up there and slam the ball down? Like, I'll never understand 80s Jordan, how he did what he did.
On the baseline, and you would see this happen, and the next movement was a powerful thrust and up to dunk on somebody. That's incredible to me.
It is. That's Craig Hodges, by the way.
I just don't understand how he did that night after night. And then how intense he was at practice the next day.
Was it just Buechler and like Steve Kerr? Was he just beating up the little white boys? Let's be honest.
No. What an idiot. What an idiot. He didn't play with Buechler and Steve Kerr. He went to Orlando at that point. Oh, man, I would just call him out if I was Horace Grant. Be like, bro, I didn't play with those guys.
He beat up a big white boy, Will Perdue.
Yeah.
You got Will Perdue here on the Rich Eisen show. You fought him, right? You had a fight with Jordan in a practice, correct?
Yes. I hate to tell the story, but Will and I still good friends.
Listen, Will, you got beat up by Michael Jordan. It's cool.
What happened? What happened?
Typical Phil, running this play.
So we kept running this one play where I was setting screens on him. Got pretty good shots, as they say in the day. I was laying some wood.
And Will set a legal pick on MJ.
Yeah.
MJ said, Will, don't do it again.
One time I hit him pretty hard. He bounced up off the floor, and he said, listen, you do that again, I'm going to punch you. He used a little more colorful language.
He warned him. This is a challenge at this point. So what's Will do?
So as soon as that happened, Johnny Bach, who was the assistant coach that set up our defensive schemes, immediately yelled, run it again.
MJ said, all right. Phil said, run it again. So naturally ran it 2 more times. Legal pick.
So I thought to myself, hey, man, if I'm going to get punched by this guy, which I still didn't think he was going to do it, I'm going to make sure I get my money's worth. So I made sure it was an illegal screen. I don't think I ever stopped. I just ran right through him, knocked his ass to the ground. He got up and immediately just turned around and hauled off and swung at me. And
boom, lit him up.
It was over.
But again, it wasn't like it turned into a debacle.
No, this is just how guys were different back then, okay? And I was part of this era. This is how we handled our shit back then. So, Will Perdue checked him, hit him. Jordan warned him and said, do that again, and I'm going to hit you. Will Perdue proceeded to check him even harder and put him on the ground. Jordan, he had to be a man of his word. Now he's starting to throw punches. But that's actually okay. You see, this isn't done out of hatred. This is done out of competition. And I'm sure their bond after this, their understanding of each other, how much they want to win, grew because of it. They became a stronger unit because of it. It's hard to understand that these days because, society is so different now. But back then, this is just how it was done. This is how dudes bonded. Go get a beer afterwards and laugh about it. And all of a sudden, our relationship is stronger than it's ever been.
Once I realized what happened, I kind of started to step towards him. Eddie Neely, who was on the team at the time, grabbed me from behind and just kind of said, oh, big boy, that's probably not a good idea. And then the other thing was we just, settled down, continued to practice. It wasn't like they separated practice and, oh, that's it, we're done. You guys got to go in a room and hash it out. We just kept practicing.
Yeah.
That stuff happened
Play through.
a lot more than people think. But it was refreshing when we played games on those Bulls teams because of how competitive and how hard we went at it at practice.
Well, Perdue here on the Rich Eisen Show, did you have to have that environment, you think, in order to win as much as you did? I mean, was it necessary?
That type of atmosphere wouldn't work now. And maybe it wouldn't because people are different. Personalities are different.
Yeah.
Egos are different. But the one thing I can always say is people are like, oh, he was a tyrant. I never looked at it that way. I thought he was a guy that was trying to motivate his teammates. You had to adapt to his style.
MJ had this philosophy.
And Will Perdue is one of those guys that they misquote nowadays by clipping. And they have him basically say, like, yeah, he pushed it too far and he was an asshole. But that's, listen to the full thing he's saying here. He's basically saying, like, that's what it took to win. That's what we needed. That's what we needed. And it was an understanding.
I'm the best. And no one is going to tell me that I'm not the best. And that's having that competitive spirit.
Michael Jordan was a scorer first, second, and third. He was a phenomenal finisher of the game. And what I mean by that is Michael Jordan stopped playing the game. He stopped having to facilitate. He didn't have to do all those things. He just finished the game. He finished it. He was, I think, the game's greatest finisher because he had no weakness in his game. So my moment was watching him play 35, 40 minutes and then come to practice with the same energy.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute. Now, this isn't normal. Now,
and maybe not much sleep.
No, Rex right. is being kind with no sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. His true gift, Rex, as Rex
Chapman and BJ Armstrong
knows, his true gift, which we don't want to say what Rex can put it in kind. He can explain it. I'm just going to say it and let Rex explain
it. His true gift
if
was,
the man
was hanging out.
If he would have slept, we don't know how good he really would have been. We didn't see the best of Michael Jordan because he didn't sleep for 14 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Literally. Okay. I'm not like, this isn't like a little sleep. He literally didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I've never seen a guy practice this hard. And that's what we should be showing the kids because we're just showing them the games when the lights are on. This guy would, I've never seen someone this competitive and it's always on. I mean, who goes out? And
it's funny because Jordan didn't have to. He didn't have to keep showing up to practice. Not only that, he didn't have to play harder than everybody in practice once he got there, but he chose to. That's just who he is.
20 and you're still playing the game if the score was tied, but he did that.
Yeah.
You ready? When I was in college,
lights on,
I was
lights
a big
on.
Michael Jordan fan.
Stacey King. I think Stacey's the one who used to touch the poster, right? The poster of Jordan before he went out and played.
Stacey King. I had a poster of Michael Jordan on my wall. So when I would go to the game, I would actually rub the poster, one time, sometimes twice if I wanted to have a really, really good game. And I'd go out and score 30, 40. And so I always attributed touching MJ's poster brought me luck. So then How ironic I get drafted by the Bulls. So my first game to come in, I felt like I didn't need the poster anymore because I got Michael Jordan next to me now. I remember going out getting ready to go shoot. Michael was had his shirt off. He's got his North Carolina shorts on, so he's in the middle of getting dressed. Which is kind of awkward if you think about this story I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
I start to walk out and I go, wait, you know what? I used to touch his poster. I think I'm going to touch him. What luck with that? That'll be really awesome because I get.
Could you imagine that? Some kid, man, playing on your team, and he's just going to like randomly go up and just touch you awkwardly. Like, what the hell, dude? Oh, man. Treating him like he's Jesus.
That's the real guy now, and that'll bring you luck. So I walk over to MJ, he's, his shirt's off, he's got his back turned to me, he's in his North Carolina shorts, he's getting dressed, and I walk over and I rub him twice.
Oh my God.
Now that I look back on it, it was kind of awkward.
Yeah, no kidding.
So he looks at me, he's like, what are you doing? He said, oh man, I used to touch your poster when I was in college, man, it used to bring me luck. He said, man, get away from me, dude. Don't be doing that. I'm like, and I didn't think it was weird at the time, but then I looked back and I said, oh yeah, that might have been a little bit crossing the line.
Yeah, a little bit.
But after that, I didn't have to touch him anymore. He said, don't ever touch me again. I'm on your team. So I'm like, okay, cool. But your mind tells you, it's a mind thing. You got to believe in something.
All right, we were in practice, going out, we were scrimmaging, and it was a timeout. And Michael walked over to me, he said, the ball gonna go into Stacey King, I'm gonna steal it and go down and dunk. I'm like, yeah, okay, all right. So we go back on the court, ball went down a couple times. Then I looked at Michael, did like this. Give him in the face. The next play, the ball went to Stacey King. He spun middle and then came back baseline. Michael stole it, went down and dunked it, and did like this to me. So it was like, he's one of those guys who's played the game in his mind several times over and over. It's like he's been there before. And I always say, playing with Michael, it's like he's in a time warp that he's just come back, time travel, come back and play the game to go back forward.
Damn.
Play some more, to come back to play some more, show you guys, this is what I know.
That's a crazy way to think about it, because I guess playing against him, you must feel like he's 10 steps ahead of me. And that's a good way to justify it, I guess. He's like Jordan's a time traveler going back in time and reliving events. He already knows what's going to happen, so he just goes out and does it.
He knew
Crazy.
every play that was going to happen before it was played.
I read something where Michael Jordan kept telling you he's going to get you a ring.
Yeah.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah. One of our drills in warm-ups of practice was 3-person shooting drills. Everybody does 3-person shooting drills, right? I'm thrown in with Michael and Scotty, right? And these two are going at each other every day. And here I am, so I become a target every now and then. But I can shoot, Stephen.
Yep.
So I could hold my own when the final tally went down.
We call him Baby Paxton.
At the end of practice, who made the most, if you will. But I could hold my own. And Michael had a good sense of his teammates. So that's where I was sitting and not playing. But Michael, he put his arm around you and say, hang in there, man, hang in there. I'm going to get you a ring. Because I was the only one on that team. I was the only one in that building that was not a part of a championship team.
It was a tough situation, the world champions, and to be traded. And luckily, I got some time early with some injuries, and just try to do the best I can.
How do you cope with playing behind Michael Jordan?
I love it. It's the greatest job in the world. You come in for him and relieve him a little bit. He comes in a little 3-person rotation with Scottie Pippen, and it's worked out well so far.
John Paxson gave me the best bit of advice. He said, here's one bit of advice I'll give you. When you're in the game with Michael and he drives the lane and he hits you with that pass and gives you that look, he said, don't miss.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is that? He said, you'll never get it back.
Yeah, he won't trust you anymore.
Lo and behold, Stephen, the end of the first quarter, I'm in there and right corner and gives you that look. And thank goodness it went in, swish, and everybody on the bench was happy. Michael was like, yeah, man, way to go. So you're kind of in at that point.
Bobby's stepping in and playing well. We were hoping that he can come in and do exactly what he's doing. Some hard, tough defense and knock down jump shots whenever he need to. And he's picking up the offense pretty quickly. So, he's really been a great addition for us.
But that was the best advice I ever got on the triangle offense was when when MJ gives you the ball, don't miss.
Yeah, yep.
You know, was he a great player on the floor? Yes. Was he this great leader off the court? No. He's not that real image that is being depicted right now.
Now, he was not a nice guy. I mean, he was that guy that was so motivated every day in everything that we did. If you didn't come to work, you were going to have problems with Michael Jordan in a way that he would let you know.
Yeah, he was a lead by example type of dude.
Got a problem with you, whether he was going to attack you verbally or he was going to get after you on the court physically. There was no in between.
Yep.
They talk about what a fierce competitor
Big
Michael
Bill.
was, and they asked, was he really that hard on players? And yeah, he was, because he wanted to win, and he was pushing us. But I don't think people that don't play sports, they don't understand that that's kind of the way most locker rooms were guys were pushing. Now, Michael took it to a different level and brought it up, but the kibitzing and the pushing of each other and trying to make
Hey, what is this panel? We got Tony Kukoc, Randy Brown. I want to watch this video.
They're better and poking fun at each other was going on in every locker room I've been in, going back to high school. But Michael brought it to a different level because he wanted to win, and he was making us all feel the pressure in practice so that in the games it would be easy for us and we would be prepared to go out there. And he was also testing us to find out if we were good enough to be there.
And imagine if he didn't do it. They wouldn't have won those championships if he didn't do it, if he didn't prepare them in practice. Because we know those were hard-fought NBA finals that he was in. And a lot of them came down to last-second shots, final plays. Yeah, they won in 6. They didn't win in 7. But still, I don't think they would have gotten there if he wasn't the guy preparing the team for these kind of battles.
There's times where Mike would get pissed off at Luke.
He'll say, oh, Luke wasn't this and Luke wasn't that, so I made him this and I made him that.
I pushed him, challenged him in certain situations where I felt like, look, you're not doing what we expect you to do.
Agreed.
It was a mindset that I felt like Luke had to learn, and I think he did learn.
And I'll say, well, may or may not be true. You don't have to love a bloke to be on his team, to care about him, to play basketball together. I didn't love MJ. I thought MJ was difficult and unnecessarily harsh on his teammates and probably on himself. And I think, I just didn't enjoy being around him that much. And that was cool. It was cool with MJ and it was cool with me. At the end of the day, we found a way to respect each other on the court and to coexist, and that was cool.
Yeah, Luke's worst enemy was himself. I don't know what it was. He has the size, he had some skills, but he didn't assert himself at all. And once in a while, he'd go out there and have a great first quarter or something like that and put up eight points in a first quarter. And then he would just shut down for the rest of the game. And we'd get so frustrated just watching it. Why? You have it so easy on this Bulls team, man. Just go out there and get some numbers. But yeah, Luke just had a different personality. He was very passive, very calm, very chill. Very gentle, a very gentle dude. So yeah, him being on the Bulls team, I can't believe he survived, tell you the truth, because somebody that gentle and that passive surviving with Michael Jordan is crazy. But if you watch the games back then, the person who was really in his ear the most was Phil Jackson. He frustrated the hell out of Phil Jackson. And Phil let him know on a daily basis that he was pissed off at Luke's performance.
He wasn't the easiest teammate to play with. In fact, he was probably the hardest teammate I've ever played with. But it was really productive because he was able to raise the level of our competitiveness, but also our confidence. Because every practice day almost felt harder than games, because you had to deal with him. Michael was so dominant, not only on the court, but in the locker room, and so everybody felt more a sense of we're going to win because we have Michael.
Yeah.
So there was a comfort level with his confidence and his dominance, his sort of king of the hill mentality. So you went into every game he's on our side, but you went into every practice I better not get on his bad side, you know. And so it was an interesting combination. He raised the level of every practice so dramatically. Everything mattered to him. Every shooting drill, like, he was so competitive. And we used to scrimmage a lot more back then than we do today. Most practice days we would scrimmage at some point, and those scrimmages were battles.
And when I got to the Bulls,
I mean, it's like having a really good manager. You know, no matter what storm you're in, no matter what kind of hell you're going through, you know, like, he's gonna get us through. He's gonna get us through the storm. It might not be pretty, but he's gonna get us through it. So I respect what Steve Kerr's saying about MJ, because yeah, it's got to feel good having a guy like that on your team. You could always rely on him.
That first day of practice, I was like, where do they do this at? A lot of people say, oh, MJ, he's tough on his teammate, he's this. Dude never, ever raised a voice at me, ever. The only thing he did was, Randy, you're not doing your job today.
Yeah.
Did that. This dude brought it, man. He, like I said, the kids, people saw what they saw on TNT. They didn't see the 2 hours that he put in practice, dude. This dude practiced, man, which was surprising to me. I don't care what it was. It can be 0-0. The dude he just brought it. Who averages 35 points in the season?
Right. 37.
Right. This dude, man, and a lot of kids they only saw the finished product.
Right.
With the tongue out. They never saw what this dude did in practice.
Right.
This dude practiced.
And he went hard.
He practiced. And if you didn't practice, you gonna hear from him.
And I want you to tell me this story that you told me about Michael Jordan, when you and Michael Jordan kind of came to, kind of little differences about your opinion
Robert
about
Parrish. Yeah, this is at the end of his career.
How the game was played when you played with Chicago with Michael Jordan.
Yeah, how the what you want to call the confrontation came about. Phil was alternating players, second team on the first team on the second team. And so we were scrimmaging, we played like 6 games of going to 5 points. And so after the first 2 games, Phil put me with the second unit where I always play with, my boys. We proceeded to kick their butts like 4 straight games. And Michael took offense to it. So I asked him, how did he like that ass whooping we just put on him? And he took offense to it because clearly no one ever manned up to him, challenged him. So he said that if I wasn't careful, he was gonna kick my ass. And I told him, like, I'm not in awe of you. I played with some of the baddest fellas that walking the court.
Yep.
He's looking at me like I had slapped his mother.
Yep. Hey, Robert's being honest, though. He played on that Celtics team, man, one of the greatest teams of all time. So, yeah, and he battled against young Jordan. So he's like, I'm not in awe of you, whatever. I know you're human. This is good.
I love that story. Then you went even further, and I think you talked about one of the rookies came over to you and said, man, I can't believe you talked to Michael like that.
And with all due respect to his, Scotty, and Dennis, Rodney, you don't know hanging from the rafter, the guys I just named hanging from the rafter, not to mention I played with some Hall of Famers, and I'm supposed to be in awe of him. I rest my case.
Yeah, that's fair.
I absolutely love that story because people for a while have been talking about, well, Michael Jordan was a bully.
Michael was in your face. He challenged his teammates. And as you know, Larry was our leader, but Larry led by example. Michael, he all up in your face talking trash. He might get a short right, Max.
What did you do when you wanted to get under Michael's skin?
Speak Croatian because he didn't understand it.
No,
that was the only way. Well, but we all understood that he is so competitive that he's going to bring anything and everything, and I think we accepted that thing.
Yep.
Do you think that Michael Jordan would be as successful without you? No. But I don't think I would be successful without him. I think we both complemented each other in a lot of different ways. And we kind of competed and pushed each other to be great. Michael was the greatest one-on-one player in the game. And if he played in today's era where the game is more open, with more spacing,
Easy.
I mean,
50. Easy.
his numbers would just go off the roof. And, you know, I played with the guy pretty much his whole career. So I know that the guy goes in the game thinking 50. He was a great scorer, but a lot of things that he did was based on him as an individual. And I think basketball is a team game. He just had that mentality of just had that drive. Bearing you.
Michael is the greatest player ever. You know, Michael's been injured one time.
Yeah.
He never asked to sit
Twice.
out. He never asked for anything, but only he asked for respect and money. If Michael played in this era, he'll average 50. He averaged 50 points.
If he wanted to, yeah.
Being 40 years old, playing back-to-backs, he played 82 games.
Yeah, 82.
But the crazy part about it, he would never sit out of practice. Michael Jordan at 40 practiced every single day. Doug Collins had to, try to kick him off the floor. He wouldn't leave.
That's crazy. So not only did he play all 82 games while he was coming back from injury and his final season, but he's there at practice every single day when we don't even see him. He's not doing it for clout. This is just who he is.
I was like, Mike, man, no. Like, he wanted to play and practice every single day. He's 40 years old, and still every day, first one there, always called the Breakfast Club. He always getting his lift in. Yeah, but, he wanted to practice every day and play 82 games at 40. Like, when we came in the league, that was a badge of honor. To play 82 games?
That's what, we
like,
talked about that.
that's a badge of honor. And this man do it at 40 years old on one
Yep.
leg. Like, come on, man. Talking about dedication to the game. Like, it don't get no better than that.
Michael has never brought me to tears. Did he upset me a lot? Yeah. I mean, he's a competitor. That's what I think it's much to do about nothing. So many people want to make up stories about Michael Jordan that he could have been the greatest guy in the world to me. They still would have made up something.
Like, seeing Michael Jordan, someone we all idolize, everybody did. I don't care what you say.
And there's a whole, thing about Jordan bullying Kwame. But Kwame, he's come out and said it many times. Yeah, Jordan was kind of an asshole. But he was, that's just how competition was back then. This is how sports was. It was understood. He's a young rookie coming out of high school. Jordan's the GOAT. What do you think is going to happen here? Of course it's going to go down like this, but also he was trying to motivate his team.
Everybody idolized Michael Jordan.
For me, Michael Jordan was a killer. It didn't matter. He wanted to come in and kill you. In my mind, as far as just a straight killer mentality is Michael Jordan.
I know that last shot that Jordan had in the
Byron
playoffs
Russell.
when it won the game and you guys lost to them in the finals. It was kind of controversial. A lot of people thought that he pushed off you, and now here you are, his teammate, trying to help him get one more title. Kind of ironic.
Nah, kind of pretty good. Why have somebody that worked their hardest against you? Why not have him with you?
Right. Was he integral in bringing you to the Wizards?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was. It was his decision.
Kind of controversial. A lot of people thought you pushed off of him.
That was a controversial call from your perspective, but the referees called the right call. So it's good to have those guys. I believe in his skills, and that's what I went for. I didn't go for the sentimental, value of him. No, I went for his skills, and that's how I viewed it.
And let me know what you thought about this video down below in the comment section. What did you think about MJ and some of the comments?
Yeah, I like that last one with Byron Russell because, Jordan respected him as a defender. It was just he would get the best of him, but at the same time, he still respected the hell out of him. So, yeah, why not? It kind of reminds me of when Kobe asked, who was it? Matt Barnes to go play with him in the Lakers because it was like, okay, I respect this guy. He's got tenacity. You want to come over here and play? Oh, love it. All right, this is a hell of a video. Everybody, this is Nick Smith, NBA. I highly suggest you recommend you guys subscribe to the channel. Check out the other content. He's got some great stuff, and he puts a lot of work into all these videos. It's got to take a lot of time to actually compile all of this, all these interviews. He's going through podcasts and doing all this stuff just to get this one video. So yeah, I highly suggest it. I love all of these stories. I think it paints a good picture of what Michael Jordan was like too, because it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. You know, it wasn't. There were hard times, and you know, he was a very intense leader. But at the same time, everybody has a ton of respect for him. So I think that's very accurate. Very good portrayal here. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Please leave the video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. And yeah, I appreciate you all. I'll see you all in the comments, okay? Peace out.